we've been joined by Brigadier Retired Amjad Ali Saab, Senior Analyst. Brigadier Saab, thank you very much to have joined us. Sir, is there any deliberate plan of the Indian Army and the Indian authorities behind increasing the violations on the line of control?
Yes, there is, because this is same orthodox, outdated design of Indian Army and government to divert the attention of their general masses from the original issues India is facing nowadays. In fact, India is presently hemmed with multi problems, including their economic crisis, including their in-house insecurities, including there are many other problems. To name a few, I have already told, and pandemic, etc. And this is how they try to divert the attention of their masses from the original issue. In fact, it is, I think, in the wake of the last press conference, which was held by DGISPR, where they have given irrefutable evidences of the Indian involvement in the terrorist activities in Pakistan. And that is what has Mr. Dowell said, that we'll go across the border and will do this in the countries of the hostile nations as far as they are concerned. But this will not work this time, because whenever they just violate the LOC, whenever they make any violation of the LOC, on the LOC, they are given a excellent response by the Pakistan Armed Forces, and they then keep quiet for a number of days, and thereafter again they try to do with it. But this will not work this time.
Yes, sir, this continued violation on the line of control and targeting, deliberately targeting innocent civilians across the line of control. We know there was a ceasefire agreement that was signed between India and Pakistan in 2003, but India has time and again violated that ceasefire agreement. What needs to be done in your point of view, sir, from the Pakistani side, now that there seems to be no end in sight as far as these violations is concerned?
For a number of times, Pakistan Armed Forces and DGISPR and the other institutions have invited the international community, the United Nations military group, which is there in Pakistan, to come on the line of control and see what is happening on the line of control and what India is trying to do. And enough of diplomacy has also been done, and very effective diplomacy, especially in the present regime, that is being done and has been done. But unfortunately, the response which is expected from the international community or the regional forces, that is not there. And I still feel that I think the time is over where we, flex our mental muscles. Now the time is to flex our military muscles as well as so as to tell the Indian Army that this is not the time to do all this, and they should just lay off this time. And we are going to come very heavy on any such activity if they ever try to do it. And I personally feel that this is the time they really need a response, and that too in the language they understand.
But when we talk about, reacting in a language that they understand, do you feel that even if we respond in a language that the Indian Army and the Indians understand, or the Indian government, the current Indian government understands, do you feel there will be a kind of a pause in those ceasefire violations on the line of control? Do you feel that they will understand? Do you feel there's only one language that India at this moment understands or will understand? What's your take on that, sir?
Basically, a coward nation, Indians. They are not that very brave soldiers. I have been there on LOC a number of times. Whenever they are given a befitting response, they normally keep quiet for 2-3 days. But, the policy of restraint which Pakistan Army exercise, I think, and when I was in service, we used to exercise was just to tell them that we are not aggressive. We want peace in this region. We want to respect this agreement, which is ceasefire agreement on the LOC. But sometimes they used to be very irrational. I don't know, it depends upon the type of commander they have, or with the change of the command, or they try to boost the morale of their troops just by killing innocent civilians across the LOC. I think can't be brutal than this, and international community must also open up their eyes that this is something we should not be tolerated anymore.
However, when we talk of the international community opening up their eyes in this whole scenario of kinetic and non-kinetic warfare that India is imposing on Pakistan through hybrid warfare and other forms of warfare as well, and the whole dossier that has come out from the Pakistani side detailing all the incidents, detailing the name of the people, and I mean with facts and figures, and of course with the government's assurance that it will be distributed to all the important governments, to all the important organizations. Now, sir, that there is a change in the US government, that there's going to be a new president that has talked about the atrocities in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Do you feel there might be a change in the stance, or there might be increased pressure on India to change their current tactics?
Whereas normally the policies of the superpowers they remain constant as far as their international policies are concerned. However, we expect Biden, being a more rational person, being a more sane person, and being a more intelligent president of the United States of America, I am sure something will be done. And Biden is very well aware of all this. The new incoming president of America, he is very well aware that what is happening there in Kashmir. And he also understands that this is the flashpoint in the Southeast Asia, which can trigger any ugly situation at any time if something goes wrong. And we hope and we expect, and we certainly, look towards the America for this, that they must come up and they must come forward and to address this issue. So that the Indians, they stay at their place, and they should not have a bloody nose at this time, because every time they try to do this, they have bloody nose. I don't know, this time they
and
might
it is still hurting. You remember the comment, of course. Now, Brigadier Saab, there's one more thing. What about the Arab world? What about the Muslim world? How important is their influence on India, as well as to some kind of influence, whether economic or political or any other kind of influence, to maybe make them see the light of day? Let's put it that way.
Yes, there is, certain things which really one state cannot influence another state as far as the statecraft is concerned. Muslim world, by and large, have certain economic interest with the Indian, because of being such a huge market in Southeast Asia. And whenever they try to take any step, they calculate it 1,000 times, and the type of forthcoming, response which we expect from the Muslim world, that is normally not there. Normally not there, because we expect much more than this, because this is an issue which is not between Pakistan and India now. This is an issue of the humanitarian nature. This is the issue where the Muslims are being targeted. 80 million Muslims are being targeted in Kashmir. There are Muslims which are being subdued inside the India also. Those, by RSS and this BJP government. I personally feel that the Muslim world should come up. OIC should call, their session, and they also should address this issue. And they must, put their foot down on India for just addressing this very issue, because this is the issue of, it's a very serious nature issue which is being done with the Muslims of India.
All right. Now, Brigadier Sir, my last question to you is about the role of the UNMOGIP, or the role of the International Court of Justice, as far as this incident of repeated violations on the line of control is concerned. Do you feel they could also play an important role?
They certainly can. As far as the International Court of Justice is concerned, I think states are not bound to their verdict. However, the United Nations Military Observer Group, which is there in Pakistan, they can, and they have been doing it also. Before this also, they have been doing a number of times. They have been reporting the gross, violations by the Indian Armed Forces on the LOC, and they can play a very vital role if they do it, and I'm sure they are trying to do it. And I feel that, again, the diplomats, the defense attaches, the United Nations Military Observer Group, they should be taken to LOC, and they should again be briefed, and they should be shown what is happening with the civilians there.
All right, Brigadier Saab, thank you very much to have joined us.